Dan Mitchell has been talking about this for a long, long time. Not necessarily saying that everything China has churned out is a lie, but it is a lot of a facade going on here. Dan, what do you make of these latest revelations?
I think the Chinese government is making a big mistake in trying to prevent prices from going to their natural market clearing levels. China's always had a problem that they made a few economic reforms a few decades ago, but it's still a very state-driven economy. They only rank 115 out of 152 for economic freedom. And their financial system is very non-transparent, with a lot of government-owned companies and the so-called princelings getting favorable treatment. And so nobody really knows what the prices are. Nobody trusts the financial system, and having the Chinese government come in and try to prop it up is just going to extend the pain and cause more uncertainty.
You know, Dan, you and I have known each other for years and talked about this, but my argument has always been, maybe because I'm a contrarian, I kind of like the people who are hated and hate the people who are liked, or whatever the consensus is. If it's bullish on stocks, I turn a little bearish, or wonder if it's bearish, I turn bullish. Here's my qualm with China. I've never believed the data coming out because it was always too perfect, growing at 10%, 12%, 13%, a buyer's market for anything and everything. It was like I call it the John Lovitz economy. And the John Lovitz market, yeah, that's a ticket. We're growing at 7%, and we're going to make it one lie after another. I just didn't believe it. And now I think the proverbial chickens are coming home to roost, because the world is coming to find not only does the emperor have no clothes, but he never did, ever.
It reminds me of when I first came to Washington. Everyone was talking about Japanese economy.
Right.
Why can't we have more central planning like the Japanese? This is the ticket. This is the way to go, as you say with John Lovitz. But Japan has been stagnant for decades. And now, as you point out, the emperor's clothes have fallen off in China. Now, let's have a little humility here. Maybe 6 months from now, this will turn out to be a non-story and China will have stabilized. But then again, maybe they'll have massive dislocation and political unease, which, of course, should worry us for lots of additional reasons.
But, you know, I would almost welcome a development like that, where they get through a lot of pain and they sort of unwean themselves from the government, just as I would welcome that here in the United States if we unweaned ourselves from the Fed, or the expectation that we can keep rates artificially low for an extended period of time. I think this global dependence on very generous governments that have your back has set up a very, very anti-capitalist sort of fervor that is not built on anything I studied, and I worry about that. What about you?
You're exactly right. If we suffered, whether in China or here, some short-term pain to get to an economy that's more balanced and more real, that would be good. But my concern, and we've seen this with these European bailouts, one bit of pain in the short run simply leads to more pain because the governments are making the wrong choices, that they want to prop up instead of let markets clear. And I'm not confident at all in China. I hope I'm wrong, but I just see governments, politicians all over the world, they always want to go for the short term, what appears to be the easy fix, but only at the cost of more long-run economic pain and suffering.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Very good seeing you again. I appreciate the input.
Thank you, Neil.
Only I was the one daring to do the John Lovitz impression. He has far too much class to try that.